What's up guys, Anders here with another video. Today we're going to go over the update for Black Desert test servers this week. Remember, global lab test server updates usually take 1 to 2 weeks to appear on our live servers, assuming there are no delays and changes. Now this week we got some news on the class reboot front, specifically what we can expect about the class reworks that are coming and how the launch of each class rework will go about. So the developers have stated they will be looking at each skill of a class in both Succession and Awakening. They will focus on making the classes easier, so they used Warrior as an example for Awakening Warrior. Specifically, they want to do away with the constant need to cancel animations and high FPS gameplay needed as a result of that. They also want to give him more knockdowns and down attacks on key skills to improve his grinding speed. Warrior is going to be the first class that will be getting a reboot or rework. Still not sure what to call it, to be honest, but the reason they want to do Warrior first, basically tackle each class based on how old it is. Warrior was the OG, so it gets the first rework treatment, and then Ranger, and then so on and so forth. So every class will get its due, and rework all the way up to Archer, and every week starting from September 2nd. So the important thing is none of these classes that get reworked will go live until all classes are done with the rework. So every week you'll have little changes to the rework of Warrior, for example, even if it's been a month or so. That's a good change. I think they need to focus on having everything where they want it to be before just releasing new rework classes that will most likely be OP by themselves in a vacuum over every other class. So if they release all of them at once, we can at least get a more sensible idea of how they've done with the rework. The developers rightly understand you will never make everyone happy, but there is usually a consensus around key critical issues that a class has, so they will be listening closely to feedback following the class rework launches on test server. So keep that in mind. September 2nd, that's when all of this starts. Next up, we have Sage Awakening again, but this time they have heard your cries about the frog hop animation on Bolt after that nerf. Sage now maintains pretty much his normal Bolt animation pre-nerf, but is still super armor, so you get back the brief window of invisibility you had with some added animation smoothing, and the developers are still open for feedback on that animation, so let me know what you guys think about it in the comments. A lot of you specifically targeted that frog hop as the last straw and a reason to no longer play the class, so let me know if this changes your mind. Now moving on to Corsair Awakening, she has her BSR skills now. BSR skills are normal skills that you already have in your Awakening kit, but with an added effect after trading in some Black Spirit Rage. Usually we have 10%, 25%, and 50% BSR skills added. The 10% skill is called High Spirits. This simply adds more hits to the skill and more damage to the skill. Nothing really that exciting. The 25% skill is Charge, and it will now give you 10% attack speed for 20 seconds and 10 DP for 20 seconds. The skill now has a lot of utility just from the base effects of the mist and increasing your buffs and a bouncy C and a DP shred all on this skill. It's not bad, though I think the lack of protection is a bit risky to be using in PvP. The skill itself is actually fairly quick after you chain it. We'll see in practice. The 50% skill is Ocean's Allure, the spacebar skill, and it's probably the most interesting one. It gains additional hits of damage, a frontal guard, and a vacuum effect in PvP. The vacuum usually is only PvE. Strong BSR, specifically after the increased lateral range of the skill this week on live servers. I think 50% is still a little too high to make it more practical, but of the three, at least in PvP, the 50% one looks very interesting. For PvE, I like the 25% one because of the utility, and even though these are in test server right now, these should be going live next week for all regions. Now next up, we are back to the Ghillie discussion. A couple of weeks ago, I reported to you guys that Ghillie no longer hid your name. A lot of people lost it. Perlibis has stepped back now from that approach. Instead, this week we're now experimenting with keeping the same functionality of Ghillie as we've always known and improving one of the few items used against Ghillie, the flare. So they've added an insta flare that can be used much faster than normal flares. You don't have to stand still to use it, and they're even thinking of adding a sort of area denial effect on that item where you pop these new flares and that area prevents Ghillie from being used. The original flare item that's already in the game will be updated, so it won't be a new item you need to get. So that seems to be the approach they want to go in. I suggested you know, if you want to do the Ghillie change with the unknown adventurer, let us Kron Ghillie. If you're going to take away that effect, it won't be so bad. I think a lot of people won't mind that. This approach seems to favor current Ghillie users, so they get to keep their hidden names. Now the onus is on the person without the Ghillie to try and reveal the Ghillie player. It feels like they're scared of getting ganked in game or something, but let me know what you guys think about this new approach for Ghillie and flares. Moving on, Atoraxxion received some tweaks to dungeon entry, where if you have completed a one-time family quest, you can interact with an NPC to enter the dungeon freely. We'll see how it works in practice, and I'll update you guys. Siege and node war changes include Balanos nodes now being solely T1 easy, Serendia is now solely T1 medium, and T1 hard is no more. Taxes for each node have changed accordingly, and accuracy limits and accuracy rate limits have been added to not just Balanos and Serendia nodes, but also Medaya and Valencia Siege. Speaking of Siege, the developers are aware and concerned about the mentality, let's make a huge alliance so we can stall the siege and have no one win, so we all get 500 million silver at the end of 4 hours. So the approach they want to go with so far is to do away with liberation rewards for now and move into a ranking reward structure. So depending on how your guild performs in that siege, you get a certain amount of money, win or lose. The alliance issue that they talked about seems to me like the developers want to focus on politics between guilds and regions. So a while ago they introduced this policy point system that you could use as a winning guild to influence your own region, usually for the benefit of your own guild, getting more drops, stuff like that. Now they want to bring in the concept back, but with the winning guild, you can choose to give your own guild buffs for the week or influence node holding guilds in that region. So node holding guilds will have power to vote depending on some factors we don't know about yet. But the idea is this: the node lords, so the owners of the individual nodes in a region, can oust the current king of the region if they don't like the policy implemented. In the future, they want to make it so that conquering a region can even be done through politics in this way. I like the idea, but if you've been around and have been through siege and war politics, you know it's probably going to devolve into a con fiesta that we have right now. It seems a little naive personally, but let me know what you guys think. Game of Thrones politics and BDO affecting in-game region holding. Good or bad? And the last note on Siege before we move on, there will be new siege weapons including tanks and ballista. We've seen them before and they will be specifically deadly against structures, but ballista will be deadly against elephants, elephants will be deadly against tanks, and tanks will be deadly against ballista, so a rock paper scissors situation there. And finally, AMD FSR has been added to Global Labs. AMD Fidelity FX Super Resolution is an image upscaling technology made by AMD that aims to boost frame rates without losing visual fidelity. You essentially will be able to play the game at 4K, and the game will look like you're playing at 4K, but will actually be rendering at a lower resolution to help give you an FPS boost. The image you see won't be the same as true 4K if you're running natively at 4K, but I'm just using 4K resolution as an example for you guys. It's not the same thing, but you can also think of it as sort of the AMD version of NVIDIA DLSS. It's open source, so the developers at Pearl Abyss decided smartly to implement it into the game. People have been asking for this for over a month, 2 months now. Awesome news for everyone who plays this on PC. And that's pretty much it for this one, guys. Let me know what you guys think about today's video in the comments or over on our community Discord. We're now public and accepting new members, so follow that link, react to the comments to get your member role, and say hello. If you want to support the videos I make in small donations, you can follow the Ko-fi link below and buy me a cup of coffee. I love coffee as much as I love Bell, so every coffee you buy me will be greatly appreciated and will of course come with some Discord perks. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that bell icon to get notified when I upload my next video. Remember, Bell is good. As always, guys, thanks again for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.